At 0800 hours, the research submarine Nereid slipped beneath the glassy surface 4 nautical miles off the Atalanta seamount. Inside its titanium hull, Commander Elena Reyes peered at green glow instrument panels. Multi-beam sonar displayed ridges and canyons sculpted by ancient lava flows. The pressure gauge read 30 megapascals, and the muted hum of the dual-prop fusion drives was the only sound in the hushed control room. Dr. Marcus Silva, marine biologist and mission scientist, monitored seismic monitors, pink traces dancing across a strip chart, indicating low-magnitude tremors. Minor tectonic activity, he reported, adjusting his headset microphone. Navigator Petty Officer Liu plotted their drift, steady at 0.8 knots, as they descended to 300 meters, the twilight zone where colossal tube worms and ghostly shrimp thrived in hydrothermal vent fields. At 0815 hours, Reyes ordered a routine subground probe deployment. The slender rod, studded with temperature, conductivity, and pressure sensors, extended through the port bay. But as the probe neared the basalt-encrusted canyon floor, its feed flickered. A harsh, grinding shudder rattled the hull as metal scraped unseen rock. Alarms blinked red. "Hull contact! Probe jammed!" The forward camera feed lanced to life. In the wavering headlamp beam lay a jagged shoal of volcanic basalt, its teeth-like outcrops far closer than any charted feature. Reyes's knuckles whitened on the throttle. "Reverse engines!" "Slowly," she commanded. The Nereid's rear thrusters engaged, but the sub shuddered and yawed, wedged tight against the reef. Communications blinked out, radio frequencies swallowed by the canyon's interference. In the cramped corridor, crewman Ortiz secured loose instruments as the deck plates groaned under stress. Sonar Officer Petrov swiveled at her consoles, panning active pulses across the canyon walls in a desperate search for open water. But each return echoed back the same jagged mass. With the Nereid darkening in its own shadow, 2 miles from the Orpheus, the support ship, the research team realized they were stranded, held fast by the seamount's hidden teeth, silence now their greatest peril. On the Orpheus's deck at 0900 hours, Dr. Marco Silva prepared the pod of 6 trained bottlenose dolphins for their reconnaissance mission. Wearing lightweight harnesses fitted with miniature acoustic transmitters, the dolphins were released through the ship's side gate into the kelp-rich waters above the seamount. Titan, the silver-gray alpha male, led the pod with confident strokes, his powerful fluke propelling him downward into the blue twilight. Luna, Echo, and the younger members followed in tight formation, their transmitters humming gentle pulses back to the ship's hydrophone array. The crew monitored each dolphin's depth and bearing on a digital console, plotting real-time positions against the bathymetric charts. As Titan neared 280 meters, the pod encountered the first ridge of the uncharted basalt pinnacles. Marco watched the Echo strength display spike, signal distortion indicating strong reflections. He keyed his headset. "Titan's at the shoal. Wait for his tail slap." Seconds later, a sharp slap rippled through the hydrophones, its acoustic signature a distinct broadband burst. Commander Reyes read the display. "Tail slap burst received. Amplitude 142 decibels, reference to 1 micropascal at 1 meter." She nodded to Sonar Officer Petrov, who overlaid the burst's arrival time on the bathymetry map. The pattern repeated 3 times as Titan and Luna circled the obstruction. Each tail slap served as a living sonar ping, marking points where the seabed rose dangerously close to the hull. Meanwhile, Echo dove deeper, her transmitter sending back slight frequency shifts as she traced the canyon's dip. Her tail slaps, softer but precisely timed, confirmed the sub's southern boundary. By combining Titan's high-amplitude slaps with Luna's broader sweeps and Echo's depth data, the Orpheus team began building a 3-dimensional Dolphin sonar map, revealing the reef's teeth in stunning clarity. Back on Nereid, Commander Reyes and Petty Officer Liu listened intently as the ship's hull-mounted hydrophones picked up the coded slaps. Each burst, decoded into navigational vectors, offered the stranded sub a chance to plot a safe escape corridor. The Dolphin's playful tail slaps had become an urgent message. They must follow these living sonar beacons if they hope to free themselves from the seamount's hidden grip. Back on the Orpheus, sonar operators worked feverishly to integrate the Dolphin's tail slap pings into the ship's navigation displays. Each tail slap, detected as a broadband acoustic burst, was time-stamped to plus or minus 0.002 seconds, allowing its origin to be triangulated to within 15 meters horizontally and 5 meters vertically. Titan's three successive slaps, spaced 2.8 seconds apart, mapped a linear ridge running 50 meters east-west, while Luna's softer two-beat sequence marked a parallel spur 30 meters to the south. Echo's depth-correlated slaps, recorded at 315 meters, delineated the canyon floor's drop-off. By overlaying these biopings onto the multi-beam bathymetry grid, Petty Officer Petrov generated a high-resolution 3D model of the hidden reef, its jagged pinnacles rising 15 meters above the sub's current depth. Commander Reyes studied the model on her heads-up display, a serrated wall of basalt looming directly ahead, invisible to pre-run charts. She keyed the intercom. "Orpheus, we have the reef's outline. Dolphins indicate safe corridor to starboard, bearing 065 degrees below." The Dolphins continued to patrol, each tail slap adding another data layer. Dr. Silva monitored the hydrophone array. Their slaps maintained consistent intensity drop-off, no absorption anomalies. These dolphins know these waters intimately. Inspired, he adjusted the filters to separate tail slap frequencies, 4 to 8 kilohertz, from ambient noise. Luna's slaps emerged crystal clear as she skimmed the reef edge, confirming the sub's southern escape route. With the dolphin-derived map complete, Captain Marlowe ordered the ROVs prepared. "Attached to the lines on Nereid's dorsal strakes," he said. "Then follow the bio-sonar corridor." The ROV pilots, eyes glued to Titan's neck slaps for real-time guidance, navigated robotic arms to secure the grapnels around the sub's frame. Moments later, the full extent of the obstruction was revealed. A tooth-lined reef stretching 120 meters across the canyon, its central peak ensnaring Nereid. Thanks to the Dolphin's tail slap triangulation, the crew now held a precise blueprint for extraction, an extraordinary synergy of marine instinct and human engineering. As the 3D biosonar map solidified on the Orpheus's tactical console, Dr. Marco Silva and Chief Engineer Lieutenant Ramon Way moved quickly to integrate the Dolphin's tail slap signals directly into the ship's navigation systems. In the control room, they patched the hydrophone array into the main sonar processor, isolating the 4 to 8 kilohertz band where the Dolphin's broadband slaps were strongest. "Each tail slap is now a digital ping," Way announced, eyes flicking between lines of code on his workstation. Silva adjusted the filter parameters so that every Dolphin-generated burst would translate into a navigational vector on the sub's heads-up display. On the bridge, Captain Marlowe watched as the processed slaps converged into a bright green corridor cutting through the obstacle field. Below deck, Commander Reyes donned her augmented reality visor. On its transparent screen, Titan's high-amplitude slaps appeared as pulsing arrows, pointing toward the clear channel along bearing 065 degrees, while Luna's and Echo's pings refined depth adjustments in real time. A continuous strip at the visor's edge displayed tail slap intervals, 3 short, 2 long, so that every Dolphin signal updated the escape path dynamically. Meanwhile, on the Nereid, Petty Officer Liu ran a final systems check. The ship's remote-operated vehicles, each fitted with tethered thrusters, were armed with grappling hooks. Their control pods on the bridge now received live Dolphin sonar vectors. At Silva's signal, the ROV pilots engaged. Their submersibles glided forward, following the green corridor lighting up on their displays, guided by Titan's neck slaps, echoing through the hull-mounted hydrophones. With engineering finesse and marine mammal instincts united, the Orpheus crew had created a living sonar interface. Every Dolphin tail slap, from Titan's commanding strikes to Luna's broad sweeps, fed directly into the rescue plan, ensuring the ROVs could navigate the labyrinth of basalt teeth and attach recovery lines without risking further hull damage. In the silent depths, nature's playful swimmers had become precision engineers. their tail slaps driving the technical ballet that would soon free Nereid from its rock-bound prison. At 0930 hours, with the Dolphin sonar interface humming steadily, the ROV teams readied their grapple lines. Each ROV, cabled to the Orpheus via reinforced umbilicals, hovered at 305 meters depth, thrusters idling. On the console, Titan's latest tail slap sequence, 3 slaps at 2.5 seconds intervals, followed by 2 at 3.2 seconds, lit up a clear path through the reef's fractured basalt spires. Petty Officer Petrov guided ROV Alpha toward the sub's starboard strake, following the green corridor overlay that pulsed in sync with Titan's slaps. Video feeds revealed the strake wedged against a protruding pinnacle, its outer hull plating scraped to bare alloy. ROV Bravo, following Luna's pings, approached the port side, its robotic arm looped with a synthetic Dyneema recovery line. Dr. Silva monitored the echo intensity readouts. Each tail slap's amplitude drop-off corresponded perfectly to the ROV's distance from the reef wall. At 0937 hours, as Echo delivered a softer pair of slaps, marking an unexpected ridge buttress, ROV Charlie adjusted its depth by 4 meters to avoid entanglement. The correction executed in real time and displayed as a turquoise depth vector on the helm screen. With all recovery lines secured, 2 on port, 1 on starboard, Commander Reyes gave the order. Slow winch in, 5% thrust. The ship's hydraulic winches engaged, tension gauges rising from 0 kilonewtons toward 15 kilonewtons, the force needed to overcome the static friction of Nereid's hull against the reef. Titan's next slap, a triple burst, signaled optimal pull direction, and engineers adjusted the port line's angle by 3 degrees to match the Dolphin-mapped safe corridor. At 0945 hours, with a final synchronized tail slap from Luna, signifying path clear, the winches hummed in unison, and Nereid's hull shuddered free. The sub budged, first by 1.2 meters, then another 0.8 meters, and a collective cheer erupted on the Orpheus's deck as the 4 recovery lines went slack. Video monitors showed Nereid drifting back into the mapped channel, clear of the reef's razor teeth. As Nereid's ascent thrusters engaged, the Dolphins, Titan, Luna, Echo, and their pod, surged above the reef crest, their sleek bodies outlined against the pale underwater light. Their mission complete, they arced in synchronized loops before returning to the Orpheus's hull for celebratory fish rewards. In the silent depths, a remarkable harmony of dolphin instinct and human engineering had turned playful tail slaps into the precise signals needed to orchestrate an undersea extraction, saving both vessel and crew from the seamount's hidden peril. At 0955 hours, a muted rumble rolled through the canyon as Nereid's ascent thrusters engaged. Through the forward viewport, Commander Reyes watched basalt walls recede before the sub's bow. Turbine hums deepened to a steady pulse as Nereid broke free of the canyon's grip and rose into the open water column, guided all the while by the bright green biosonar corridor still displayed on the heads-up system. Moments later, the sub's sail breached the surface in a frothy spume 2 miles from the Orpheus. Salt spray speckled the glass as the crew opened the main hatch. Dr. Marcus Silva and Navigator Liu climbed onto the deck, faces split by ear-to-ear grins, coughing out brine and relief. "We followed the Dolphin's signals to the letter," Silva exclaimed, clapping Titan's handler on the shoulder. On the Orpheus's deck, sailors and scientists gathered at the rail, waving towels and cheering. The pod of Dolphins, Titan glossy flanked by Luna, Echo, and the younger pair, broke the surface in a series of athletic leaps, their sleek bodies arcing through sunlit spray. Each Dolphin landed with a resounding slap that reverberated through the ship's hull, a jubilant echo of their rescue mission. Commander Reyes descended the boarding ladder to meet Captain Marlowe and Dr. Silva. They embraced beneath the blue sky streaked with wisps of cloud. "I've never been more grateful for a fluke," Reyes laughed, patting Titan's broad head as the alpha male nudged her hand for a fish reward. Marlowe handed her a waterproof tablet showing the final mission log. Sub freed at 0945 hours via Dolphin sonar extraction. All crew safe. Back in the control room, Sonar Officer Petrov reviewed the Dolphin slap recordings, each waveform a testament to the pod's precise timing and enduring stamina. They outperformed every synthetic sonar ping we've ever used, she marveled. Engineers began downloading the biosonar data for integration into future rescue systems. As the afternoon sun glinted off calm seas, Nereid was towed alongside the Orpheus for hull inspection. The crew gathered on deck to watch the Dolphins swim alongside the escort vessel, their dorsal fins slicing through glassy water. Commander Reyes raised her hand in salute. To Titan, Luna, Echo, and all of you. This rescue belongs to nature as much as to us. In that moment of reunion, human hands clasped against dolphin flukes and silver hulls side by side, the boundary between technology and wildlife faded. A stranded submarine had found its way home, not by compass or code alone, but by the playful power of a dolphin's tail slap, rippling through the deep to save a ship and its crew. 2 weeks after the Nereid's dramatic rescue, the Orpheus hosted the first Oceanic Safety Symposium, a gathering of naval engineers, marine biologists, and search and rescue experts from around the globe. The moonlit deck was festooned with signal flags, and the symposium banner proclaimed, "Innovation in Undersea Rescue, Lessons from the Deep." Dr. Marco Silva and Captain Marlowe stood before an audience of 150, their podium backed by a projection of Titan's triumphant tail slap waveform. Silva began, "Our pod slaps provided live sonar pings, far superior in resolution to our standard multi-beam systems. By decoding tail slap intervals, 3 rapid bursts followed by 2 longer ones, we triangulated Nereid's position to within 15 meters, even in the canyon's acoustic shadow." He clicked to display a side-by-side animation, a dolphin's slap on the left, and the corresponding ROV pilot display routing on the right. Applause rippled through the crowd. Captain Marlowe took the stage. "We formalized these methods into the Dolphin Sonar Rescue Protocol. Key elements include trained pod deployment, release of acoustically tagged dolphins during submarine distress, tail slap decoding, real-time processing of hydrophone data to map obstructions, live biosonar feed, integration into ROV and sub-navigation systems via filtered 4 to 8 kHz channels, ROV dolphin coordination, synchronized vectors, guiding recovery line attachment." He paused as the projection shifted to the Orpheus's deck plaque, a bronze relief of Titan mid-slap, flukes raised, captioned, "In honor of Titan and his pod, whose living sonar freed the Nereid, October 5th, 2025. That evening, symposium attendees convened at the ship's stern for the plaque unveiling. Silva and Marlowe pulled aside the navy blue drape, revealing the plaque mounted on the splinter-resistant bulwark. Titan surfaced beside the stern, nudging the railing as guests reached to touch the engraved bronze. Luna and Echo circled in the lamplight, their click-like whistles an underwater chorus of approval. Over hors d'oeuvres and chilled champagne, delegates discussed integrating dolphin sonar units into future undersea operations. Proposals ranged from outfitting ROVs with live cetacean telemetry receivers to establishing permanent marine mammal rescue teams aboard research vessels. Marine mammal advocates spoke of the ethical training and welfare measures required to ensure the dolphin's safety. As the night wound down, Silva stood alone by the railing, watching Titan's silhouette slip into the dark water. He whispered, "Thank you, old friend," and placed a wreath of braided kelp at the plaque's base. Above, a single star shimmered between the ship's masts, an apt emblem for the luminous beacon those dolphins had become, showing that when human ingenuity weds nature's instincts, even the deepest perils can be transformed into triumphant returns.